A lot of scandals have been surfacing about the bank.
Can I ask you not to use the word scandal, please? It gives the impression there's a lot of shady doings at our bank, which is not the truth.
One of the stories going around is that Anytime Bank created 3.8 million unauthorized accounts.
No. Unauthorized? I would prefer if you used proactively opened. Yeah?
Proactively open, that means without the customers even being aware of it.
We could say as in the shoplifter proactively took things from the shelf and proactively exited the supermarket without paying.
Hello viewers, thanks for tuning in for yet another episode of Jest Business Podcast. You know, Patty, we have been getting a lot of viewers on YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
We sure have.
And in fact, not just viewers, we have also been getting a lot of comments, a lot of positive comments. We in fact got a couple of negative comments as well. But if I remember my maths, 2 negatives make a positive, so I'll take that as a positive comment. So for those of you who are yet to tune in, please join our podcast and spread the word about Jest Business Podcast.
And as you're spreading the word, please tell your friends also that Rahul and I conduct workshops to teach humor for leaders, because humor helps tackle psychological safety at the workplace. It helps with teamwork. It helps with leadership. In fact, both Rahul and I believe like the lifeblood that flows through an organization should be humor and not corporate jargon, which is the lifeblood, which is the blood flowing through the organizations now. And actually, one could call it death blood, right, Rahul? A blood-sucking force. So if you want to change that blood-sucking jargon kind of flow through your organization to humor, contact us. Our email is justbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. With that, let's get started, Rahul. This podcast is being sponsored by Coromandel Productions. The folks at Coromandel aim to showcase human interest and heartwarming stories from all walks of life. They do this through short films, documentaries, sports television, corporate films, feature-based content, and promotional videos. Coromandel Productions is headquartered in Singapore and has offices in India and the UK. So if you're looking for high-quality professional videos, you know where to go.
Absolutely. In fact, Patty, I was trying to recollect the last episode we had on the banks or the financial services. I actually had a lot of fun doing that, and I think I just can't get enough of it. You know, it's like the thing when I have a good single malt, I just would like to have more and more of it. So I kind of, why don't we just, throw that back in the mix?
I love that idea, except I don't like your analogy. I like my tennis analogies, as you might have guessed. So sometimes when I beat somebody 6-0 or 6-1, it happens very rarely. I do want more. And somehow I don't get that feeling when I lose 0-1, 0-6, 0-1-6. So like that, let's have more of that. And why don't we resort to our famous methodology?
Which is
role play. Yeah.
I think let's get an actor to play the CEO role for today's episode.
So instead of you and I.
Correct.
Very good idea. But who?
I got just the right person for that role. It is the amazing Neeraj Sujnani, and here he is. Wow. Neeraj, welcome to the show.
Hello, guys.
Thank you for joining us. But before that, viewers, you would have noticed that we just mentioned that we'd have someone for the role play, and he appeared magically.
I told you, amazing Neeraj Sujnani. Amazing for a reason.
And that might tempt you to pick up your phones and DM us about teaching you magic, but we don't do that. We don't have the time. Okay, Neeraj, welcome to the show. But Neeraj is not here as Neeraj himself. He is going to play a role of the CEO of a bank. In a previous episode, we introduced you all to the fictitious bank, Anytime Bank, and its fictitious CEO, Rick Hamilton. Unfortunately, Rick Hamilton got himself and the bank into a whole lot of mess. He was fined $19.2 million and was barred from banking for the rest of his life. The board has appointed Reginald Oswald Worthington II. Now, he is from a banking family, and he will tell us more about himself. Good morning, Mr. Reginald Oswald Worthington II. That's quite a mouthful, by the way. Later, you must tell us what we should call you. Otherwise, we'll spend a whole time of the podcast addressing you. But first, I want to thank you for making the time to be here today.
You're welcome. it was very difficult to squeeze this in. I have a board meeting later on, and then I'm flying off to Geneva to attend a banking symposium of sorts. It's on one of my favorite topics.
Which is?
Banking ethics. Societal return over financial return.
Wow. Okay.
When my comms director, Ms. Janet, asked me to come on this show, she insisted that I come by. And I told her, look, Janet, it's not my time to sit on some frivolous podcast that is hosted by some, what do you call yourself? Business comedians?
I was going to say humorists, but yeah, okay, let's go with comedians.
No
I was going to
offense,
say
man.
experts. Anyway,
No, none taken.
No offense. So she said, it's too important. You need to be here. This is a place, this is the business podcast that everybody listens to. Anybody is a who's who listens to this. You have to be here.
I like Janet.
I love to. In fact, I like her more than our guest. All right.
So, well, here I am. I'm here. You can call me Rex.
Okay.
Everyone does.
Ah,
Would you guys like to know what's the background to my full name?
No, not really, but
I'm glad that you insisted. It's a very storied lineage.
I'm sure.
My great-grandfather,
you're
Oswald
going
Knight
back.
Worthington,
okay.
made his money in railroads and banking in 1887. He had a son, my granddad, who was Reginald Oswald Worthington. His first name, Reginald, means Rex.
Oh,
That
Okay.
means king in Latin.
Talented.
good to know.
And Oswald, the second name, means divine power in Old English. He passed on his name to my dad, Reginald Oswald Worthington Jr. My dad hated the word junior. He felt it was very pedestrian, very lowbrow, and kind of insulting for a man of his stature and wealth. After Granddad passed away, he officially changed it to Reginald Oswald Worthington I.
Okay. Interesting.
Interesting.
Paddy, I just thought if Rex means king in Latin, Rexine should mean queen, right? Huh? Okay, but anyway, I think let's continue with the theme of the show and let's
Yes.
get on with the topic. Mr.
Would you like to know why he changed his name to the first?
No, not really,
no,
because in the
yeah.
interest of-
Wonderful. I was hoping you would ask me. I'll tell you about this. Look, logically, my dad, Reginald Oswald Worthington
He's not
II,
finished yet.
but his dad christened him Junior, so the numbering system had not been introduced as yet. And Granddad was no longer alive to object, so the first was there for the taking. And you know what? Here's the beautiful part of it. Dad was actually the second, but he became the first with one bold move. Crafty old man that he was. The man was a genius,
I'm sure.
and many say that I've inherited his genes. Although
They do? Okay.
I personally say that I've inherited his genes too. But he named me Reginald Oswald Worthington II. Now,
Quite
the
imaginative.
second,
Okay.
allow me to continue. The second denotes continuation of legacy across generations.
we were
107 years commitment to ethical banking and societal good.
Sure.
We Worthingtons have a saying.
You do?
A Worthington doesn't just manage money.
What does he do?
A Worthington shepherds prosperity.
Whoa.
Oh, from king to a shepherd, he's done it all.
It's on our family crest, which hangs in the lobby of our building.
I think
Are you
he's
done? You're
now.
done?
Yes.
Great. I mean, very, very interesting story, of course.
I thought as much.
But we wanted to get back to the podcast and talk about Anytime Bank and a lot of the scandals that have been surfacing about the bank.
Can I ask you not to use the word scandal, please? It's
No?
it's very ugly. It's not wholesome.
So,
It gives the impression that it gives the impression there's a lot of shady doings at our bank, and which is not the truth.
I think we should have a wholesome scandal.
Yeah, okay. Rex, we can call you Rex. Means king after all. Let's call it stories then, okay? Let's call it stories. So, one of the stories going around is that Anytime Bank created 3.8 million unauthorized accounts.
Ah,
No?
unauthorized is a very, very loaded word.
Oh,
I would prefer if you used proactively opened.
Proactively open, that means without the customers even being aware of it.
It's quite nice. Huh, Rahul?
Yeah, I like proactively open.
We could say as in the shoplifter proactively took things from the shelf and proactively exited the supermarket without paying.
Absolutely.
Look, our employees are highly motivated. And I believe sometimes, perhaps overly motivated. So they saw customers who needed to open bank accounts. Okay? And they were very busy to come into the office or to come to the bank and to come inside, fill out paperwork. So in the spirit of exceptional customer service, we took the initiative. We opened the accounts to help our customers. I mean, not every single detail was confirmed. I understand, but the intention was absolutely pure. And that's what matters.
No, but you say every detail wasn't sure, but what we read is that the employees created phony email addresses, phony phone numbers, forged signatures, and then opened the accounts, and the customers did not know
and
it.
I think they charged them fees on the accounts they never knew they had.
Look, if we're getting technical here, look, they may not have known that they have accounts.
Yeah, they didn't.
But they did have them, okay? They did have accounts. Allow me to give you an example. Last year, I completely forgot I owned a flat in New York, which, by the way, has a gorgeous view of the Central Park from it. I mean, anyways, so I own so many properties in the city, but I still have to pay property tax on it. I can't go to the tax man and say, hello, I didn't know that I owned this place, so I'm not going to pay tax. Could I do that? I can't.
A beautiful analogy, right? A lovely analogy. I too forget sometimes that I bought things. Usually it's toothpaste and socks. Yeah, I usually don't forget Manhattan apartments, but I think there's a little bit difference here that these accounts were opened without the knowledge of the account, the customers. Would you not say there's a bit of a difference?
Patty, tomatoes, okay?
Okay.
You're just focusing on the negative. I mean, come on. Look, we have millions of customers in Anytime Bank. We've got thousands of employees. It's a massive, massive workforce. It's understandable there could be a few bad apples, but we took it seriously. We weeded them out, didn't we?
Yeah, but only after the story went public.
Only after
and that. Speaking of few bad apples, I think he fired almost 6,000 employees.
Well, not a few bad apples. Maybe I should have said it's a bad orchard then. Well, whole apple orchards do get infested with pests, don't they? The point is whether it's 3 to 4 apples or it's a small orchard.
Or a big
or
orchard.
Perhaps a big orchard. The fact is we weeded them out. We applied the pesticide, we cleaned up the field, we planted new crops.
Yeah, we get the orchard analogy. But what we're trying to say, the regulatory reports say that senior management personnel were well aware of this problem right from the year 2000 onwards. And in fact, they said they set targets which actually caused this behavior to happen.
Unfortunately, things got a bit slackened under our previous CEO, Mr. Rick Hamilton. Fantastic guy. We both graduated from Stanford together. He did cut a few corners to get to the top, though, unfortunately.
To get to the top, Rex, he was already on the top. He was CEO. I don't think you can go higher than that.
Yes, I understand, Paddy. He was a CEO, but he's not from how should I put it, a traditional business family, you see? I believe his dad was from the army, very honorable profession, for sure, serving the nation and so on. But such fellows are always in a hurry. They lack a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Finesse? Temperament. They lack a temperament that comes with growing into a family of wealth. A lack of restraint, a lack of noblesse. I could go on and on about it. And there you go. Hamilton paid the price for it. $19.2 million in fine. That's terrible business. If a family man had been in charge, like us, it would have been noticed immediately and almost stopped as soon as it would have started. As I told you earlier, a Worthington doesn't just manage money.
No,
they shepherd prosperity.
Yeah.
Thank you. You remember, Paddy. Wonderful.
Yeah,
you said it a few times. I did get it. Yeah.
Your Highness King Worthington, I would like to point out the report said that the problem actually started from the year 2000 onwards, when in fact it's on record that your dad, was the CEO. And regulators said that employees had been trying to warn the senior management for years through, the ethics and whistleblower hotlines, but to no avail.
You said early 2000s. Yes. I do remember Dad did suffer from a mild heart attack. That was disheartening.
That explains the laughter.
Yeah. It was a painful moment. It was the early 2000s. Yes, your timeline is correct.
But Rex,
Hamilton was the chief financial officer
at the time.
Yes.
But hang on, Rex, your dad, I believe, was an accomplished marathon man.
Yes, he ran the New York Marathon.
In fact, when he was asked, what is your passion? And he replied, you mean beyond making money? And then he laughed and he said, I really love the marathon. I run the New York Marathon every year. And in fact, he's going to have quoted that he finished the last year in 3 minutes, 41 seconds. Difficult to believe that such a man would have suffered from a heart attack.
A marathon runner?
Yes, it's in
your dad,
public domain.
Yes. Yes. But you must understand, even marathon runners suffered heart attack, don't they? I mean, the poor man was so physically weakened and mentally incapacitated that he could not take proper decisions at that time. The shenanigans happened all during that time when he was incapacitated. Hamilton was running things as a CFO. My poor dad. He just could not provide the Worthington oversight at that time due to his health. But now, I'm here. Shall I tell you about our new brand image and our new campaign? It's about to better every day and teach.
Just hang on, there's one more question. Let me get that out of the way. So as a Worthington, as you yourself said, you don't just create wealth, but you shepherd prosperity. Would you say that laundering money for drug cartels qualifies as shepherding prosperity?
How dare you, sir? This is preposterous. No one has ever asked me or any other Worthington a despicable question like this ever.
I agree. No one has asked this question to you except the police. I should remind you, you were grilled for almost 5 days by the police along with CEOs of other banks for exactly indulging in these dubious business practices.
Yes, as an eminent banker. But it was a very amicable conversation, unlike yours.
Yeah. I'm sure the conversation was all amicable because all your 3 lawyers also said the same thing in the police interrogation room, if you say so. But let me say, did they not ask you or did they not question you about any time's involvement with the, in this money laundering? And also, I must like to remind you, there was this suspicious death of the Washington Post journalist Serena Wasp.
Yes.
Around the same time.
I was going to ask that, yes.
They did ask me about her, now that I remember. But I also told them Serena Wasp was a hack.
Oh.
She was a criminal. I mean, who dresses up as a janitor to enter our offices unauthorized? She went through our accounts. She went through our computers. I mean, she was even eavesdropping on our conversations. She was hiding in a closet when we were having meetings with one of our biggest and most oldest clients. For God's sake, these are the people who don't have any ethics, any morals, any sense of decency.
A few days later, Serena Wasp died.
Yes, she committed suicide. Unfortunate, probably torn by guilt with all this underhanded behavior that she did of trying to get into her office. I'm sure she couldn't live with herself anymore. Overdose, I believe.
The police say she was murdered, Rex, and then it was disguised to look like a suicide. And anyway, the case is open, so let's not question you too much about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but tell us about the money laundering. This happened during your tenure, not your dad's, not during Hamilton's, during your very tenure, while you were shepherding prosperity.
Look, you business comedians, I am the CEO, okay? I do not sit in front of the computer monitoring bank transactions. My job is to steer the bank in an onwards and upwards direction towards a brighter future. I don't oversee every dollar and every cent that goes from here to there.
$52.8 million, Your Highness. It's not from here to there. It's from here to people of dubious origins, dubious domicile,
Exactly.
arms dealers, human traffickers, drug money cartels.
On the police watch list.
Yeah, clients, whose offices were raided by the authorities and so on.
These are high net worth individuals of immense, net worth. If we shut down those accounts, at the such important accounts, then where would we be?
We would be in an honest place, I assume. But let's move on, Rex. The case is still under investigation. The fact is, with all these stories going around, the Anytime Bank and you personally have taken a hammering in terms of reputation. So what are you doing to fix things? I believe the board has given you the mandate to do that.
In fact, I should also read this article from the Financial Chronicle. It says here,
About the battering, yeah.
Yeah. So the Financial Chronicle, in fact, ran a piece yesterday titled, where is it? Yeah, here it is. Anytime Bank, a decade of deception. I'm reading. 3.8 million fake accounts, $11 billion in fines, and latest money laundering. Allegations involving 52.8 million pounds. Traced to drug cartels, human traffickers, arms dealers. Senator Elizabeth Warren, she calls Anytime Bank as a repeat offender that treats fines as a cost of doing business. The Wall Street Journal ran an op-ed titled, When Does Regulatory Patience End? Bloomberg's poll shows 73% of Americans believe Anytime Bank cannot be trusted. Customer complaints have tripled in the past year, and most damaging is the investigative piece linking the bank to terrorist financing and raising questions about journalist Serena Wasp's death. I quote, the board is deeply concerned. What do you have to say to all that?
I'm aware of this.
You are?
Of course. Let me tell you something.
Please.
The board has appointed me with a mandate to fix these things. And as soon as I started, all these fabricated news articles started appearing in the newspapers.
Fabricated?
The connections with the so-called money laundering and our associations with the drug cartels. It's merely accusations. Nothing has been proven. The bank and I admit to no wrongdoing. Do you know who the real scoundrels are?
No.
It's those bloody newspapers. All they do is report, blow up things out of proportion, write rubbish, and just slander our reputation. But let me tell you this. I have everything under control. And everything will be okay from now on.
Wow, that's great to hear. Let me guess. I think I'm getting a hang of this thing. You're going to fire the entire compliance leadership team. You're going to bring an external federal prosecutor to head things. You want to separate the chairman and the compliance roles so that compliance reports directly into the board, and you're going to implement real-time transaction monitoring. You're going to do all these things, and that's how you're going to fix things. I think I'm getting a hang of this banking thing, Rahul.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No.
Huh?
Barry, what nonsense are you even talking?
Oh.
I mean, what a waste of money and time would that be? To be honest, I have no idea what you mean about all this. Really, I'm not even able to understand what you just said. On that note, Paddy, I have a suggestion for you.
Yes. Eager to hear.
Stick to podcasting, please.
Okay.
I'm talking about something even more powerful.
More powerful than compliance?
Yes, a new slogan, a new advertising campaign. Guys, that's it.
Wow.
Our current slogan is Anytime Bank, we make money for the money makers. A great slogan.
Yeah, very subtle.
In its own, yes. But what it captures, the ethos of our banking, it also gives an impression that we're catering only to the rich.
Oh, really?
So, we made a master stroke. We hired Backshot and Sons, one of the biggest creative agencies here, and we asked them to prepare a new slogan for us. And guess what?
What?
In our first meeting, they came up with a smasher. Anytime Bank, here for the better.
The better.
That's it?
I asked them, should we make it Anytime Bank, here for the better, not worse? You know, kind of spelling it out for the people.
Yeah.
But it was immediately shot down. I was, okay, you're the creative director. You do what you need to do since we've hired you for it. He was like, don't go there. Take the higher ground. Anytime Bank, here for the better. That's it. I love it. Simple, powerful, aspirational, like our business. It says, we're just not here for the profit. We're here for something more meaningful. Some banks may be here for good.
Yes, I've
But
heard that.
we're not here for good. We're here for better. Better than others. Better than before. And the campaign, this magnificent, beautiful campaign, we're spending $175 million on it.
Wow.
Oh, $175 million. That's a lot of money to spend, no?
Well, it'd be far less than if I did all the stupid things that Patty was suggesting. Hiring new compliance teams, bringing in former prosecutors, involving ethic monitors, blah, 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 blah.
You'll actually be saving money.
It'll be money well spent, Patty. You'll see the public impression of any time banks shoot up on things like ethics, morals, community services. Come on.
Even if those things don't actually shoot up.
Exactly, Rahul. It's much more effective way of getting the results while maintaining our high operation standards, of which we live by. Our sense of urgency of growing responsibly, slowly, responsibly. Let me give you our campaign pillars.
Please.
4 wonderful pillars that we stand by.
Okay.
First, importantly, the environment pillars. Providing funds for clean energy. Imagine a picture of windmills in the desert. Imagine a caption below that. Anytime Bank, here for a better earth.
Oh.
Our second pillar, the poverty pillar. Anytime Bank has started a Worthington II Foundation to help elevate poverty in Africa. The caption over there, Anytime Bank, here for better prosperity. Third, the children pillar. Anytime is the proud sponsor of the Little Leagues chess teams in New Jersey schools. The ad shows bright students sitting across the chessboard and the caption, Anytime Bank, here for better tomorrow's leaders. And the most important, the common man pillar.
Okay.
I saved this for the last because I absolutely love it. The agency has already created an ad for this. It's an elderly grandmother meeting our wealth manager at her own house. Yeah? We're there. We're going there at your premises. They're seated at one end of the dining table. Her 2 sons, their wives, grandkids, and the pet. Everybody's standing around her. Everybody is so excited. The wealth manager is explaining to her how the Anytime Nest Egg plan will help her tide over her remaining years while leaving enough to take care of the family. The tagline? Anytime Bank. Here for a better life. For you. God, I tear up every time I think about it.
I take it.
Excuse me.
This grandmother, I take it this is not the same Mrs. Chen. I'd like to read about Mrs. Chen, a 68-year-old retiree in Los Angeles who discovered Anytime Bank had opened 5 credit cards in her name without her knowledge, damaged her credit score, and charged her $3,400 in fees. I take it you're not hiring this Mrs. Chen, are you?
Patty. Of course not, that old geezer. Patty, don't sidetrack me, okay? We would never dream of having her. No, we don't take chances with that. We actually hired a professional actor, Miss Emma Hold. I'm sure you would recognize her from Arthur's Arthritis Medicines ads. Wonderful lady.
Yeah, so if I were to sum up your strategy for being accused of money laundering, dubious banking practices, giving uncreditworthy loans, and giving, aggressive selling tactics, your tactic to counter all of that will be to use environment, little children in Africa, and old grandmothers.
And poverty.
So your strategy to fix things actually centers on the campaign, Anytime Bank here for better, not just good, here for better, but are you actually making things better, or are you just saying you're making things better?
I'm sorry, Rahul. I'm a little confused. Aren't they both the same? Is there a difference? Once people believe we're making life better, we effectively are making lives better, aren't we? Guys, come on. Perception is reality. That's what Janet says. And she went to Harvard Business School.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you directly. Rex, do you really believe that spending $175 million in a marketing and advertising budget will make people forget about all these scandals, about the $11 billion you paid in fines, forget about your accusations of money laundering to drug cartels, forget about the dead journalist, all that will get forgotten?
Not immediately. No, of course not. But after the $175 million has been spent over 1 year, absolutely!
Right.
I mean, look at the other banks. They've all had scandals. They've all paid fines. Then they rebranded, refreshed their image, got a new slogan, invested in advertising. People move on. So are we. We're moving on. Because at the end of the day, and please correct me if I'm wrong, people need banks.
Wow.
Right? And our campaign will show them that Anytime Bank is a bank you can trust. And a bank that's here to make everything better.
Well, in the spirit of moving on, it has been great having you here, Mr. X. And thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome, guys. You're really welcome. As I mentioned before, I went way out of my time to fix you guys in, but I'm glad I listened to Janet. She's lovely, and I'm sure I've left you with a very powerful impression of Anytime Bank and the Worthingtons, of course.
Powerful. I think powerful is a reasonable adjective to use, and I believe you have a flight to catch, so we will not detain you any longer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you for joining us.
See you, gentlemen.
Good luck to Geneva. And good luck for Geneva also.
Oh, that was heady stuff, huh, Rahul?
Yeah, heady stuff indeed. Rest assured, the next time I see a banking slogan, I don't know what my reaction will be. For sure to say, I won't be clapping hands with tears in my eyes, and you'll not get
goosebumps.
No, I won't.
No, neither will I, for sure.
Well, I think on that count, Patty,
let's call it a day. It's been a nice episode.
So, I hope you like the episode. And in case you do, please let us know. Writing at justbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. And for the benefit of the recent viewers, we'd like to also let you know we conduct Humor for Leaders workshops in Singapore. So please write in to us if you want to find out more about that. Right?
Yes. Thank you. And do give us any ideas you have for other absurdities in business. To repeat, the email address is justbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. With that, bye-bye.
Bye.